Hey guys, Josh here with Real Dead, and I just Saw X or Saw 10, as some people are calling it. This will be a full spoiler review. Warning you guys now, this will have full spoilers, and so if you don't want to hear spoilers, turn away now. If you do want to hear spoilers, listen. Now it won't be all spoilers, but it's going to have a lot of spoilers in it, guys. Just letting you know. I love this movie. I think it was really good. I think Saw 10 did a great job. I thought the story was really good. I thought Tobin Bell did a great job as John Kramer, of course. And he was a huge part of this movie. Now, John Kramer died in Saw 3. So later installments of Saw had him in it, but as flashbacks. So and some used him more than others, and you really felt it when he was missing, in my opinion, from the movies. Now I did like some of the other killers that were in the other movies, but definitely this movie, he's a centerpiece. He is the centerpiece of Saw X, which I love. And this movie does take place right after Saw 1 and before Saw 2. So in the movie, Amanda is his apprentice in this one. He also is on the phone in the movie. You hear his voice in the trailer, but he does communicate with Hoffman, the detective, on the phone. And so you hear that. But what the story of it is he gets the news about his cancer, and he's looking for a cure, and he's looking for a way maybe to prolong his life. And he finds out from a guy at like a cancer like place where people are just kind of talking about their lives, and it's like a helping type thing. And he finds out from a guy that there's this place that has like a treatment for cancer where they do surgery, and then they give you some kind of, medicine that helps you, can get rid of the cancer, put you in, what's that called? Where your cancer is not affecting you at the time. I can't think of the word right now. But so he ends up contacting these people. He goes there. He meets these several people throughout the time. He goes there. He spends time there while he's healing up. Then he goes back to the place where he had the surgery. It was real sketchy. And then he ends up realizing it was all a scam. And later on you find out they took $250,000 from him for this fake procedure. So he calls Amanda, and him and Amanda go ahead and gather all the people up that were a part of this, and puts them in traps. And I'll tell you, the traps are really cool. He ends up finding about a lot of information about different things by holding another guy that was an accomplice that drove the taxi cab hostage, basically, and finding information out, so he knew what to expect. It was one of John Kramer's. It was a great trap, a great plan by John Kramer that fully was realized at the end of this movie, as you'll see. The lead doctor, who was like the lead person that was organizing everything, is truly despicable in this movie. You're rooting for John Kramer in this movie because they do find somebody that's more despicable. Not that John Kramer is really despicable, but he is. I mean, the whole thing where I don't kill anybody, they make their own choices, I've always thought that was bullshit. It's actually not. They wouldn't be in these traps to begin with if you weren't there. And he does say, a lot of people are, he says, you're not realizing how fortunate you are to be alive, but you won't take it for granted. Not you, not anymore. Because if you survive a trap, he feels like it cures you, which we see that it does work to a point, but it also doesn't work because I don't think you can use that kind of violence against people and it be positive, in my opinion. But in John Kramer's world, it does work. And in this one, some of these traps were brutal. I would say there was one trap where a guy had to like saw into his head and take a piece of his brain out to unlock a key. That was brutal. This other lady had to take this saw, like it's like a rope saw. I don't know what it's called. I can't remember. But she has to saw her leg off like this. Oh man, that was brutal. And drain some of the marrow from her bones into this machine to unlock it, or it'll cut her head off. The one thing like I said, the traps were good. And one girl does survive her trap, but she ends up getting killed anyway by the lead doctor, who was a total jerk, the lady. But basically this woman finds people around town and hires them to be actors in this when they're not really anything. And that's what it was. So, yeah, I mean, the thing that made me mad is that the main person who is the most evil, she ends up living, and I hated that. There's another twist in there where a guy that you think that was a patient wasn't actually a patient. It was actually someone involved in it the whole time. And you kind of don't know that at first because he's like there looking for his money back because he feels like he got screwed by them. But there's a twist where he actually is working with the doctor lady. But then the twist of all twists is where John Kramer actually has to get in a trap of his own. But as we find out, it is a very survivable trap. And the main trap was actually for the doctor and this other guy that was like her boyfriend, who was the guy that you thought. And they go in this room and it's like all this like poison in there and it's like burning their skin and stuff. And she, like I said, she ends up living, where it's like, really? That's one part I was disappointed because I really want to see her get her up and coming, but it didn't happen. So I don't know, how is she getting out of this room? I don't know, but they didn't explain that. But it is cool to see John Kramer and Amanda working together. Really love that about the movie. Thought it was great. So also there's an end credit scene. I would definitely stick around for it. The end credit scene is there was a guy at, at the meeting with all the other cancer people, and he was there telling his story, and then he pretended to get better and have a scar, and he said the surgery worked. And he tricked around John Kramer. He was the reason why John Kramer even went and did all of this. So he, at the end, is in the original bathroom of Saw 1. He's hung up. And you finally see Detective Hoffman is there with Jigsaw setting up this trap for this guy. And it's in the original bathroom. And you see the remnants of Saw 1. You see a guy chained up in a corner. From Saw 1, that same guy. What was his name? I can't remember his name. And then you see Zepp on the floor that got shot. He's shot and dead. His body's there. So it's really cool. And then you get the line from Hoffman who said, all the people to mess with, and you pick John Kramer? I love that line. It's really good. And I really like Mark. I think his name's Mark Hoffman. I really liked his character. He was one of the shining parts about the later series of the Saw movies. So to see him in this was really cool. So I highly recommend this movie. I know if you listened to the spoilers, you did. If you didn't, you didn't. I still would recommend, if you watch this movie, go watch it. Very well done. And I can't wait for Saw 11. We better be getting Saw 11. And we need some of these questions answered from other Saw movies. So that's my take on it, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you. Bye.